If we'd focused on the competition, we would have ended up in this price spiral. And we probably would have ended up in the same place that the competition are today. But we decided, let's just focus on what we always did when Michael was running the company. And that is just get a deep understanding of what the customer wants and try as much as we can to deliver for those needs. I think that the market is big enough, and they're doing a pretty good job. There's no doubt about that, whether they're the big ones or the small ones. And there's some really nice niche ones that are delivering to geographically constrained areas with limited products, but doing very well. I think we need to define our own niche. We need to define what our customers want. And customers, you can't tell customers you must use them or us. Customers will use whatever suits them at any one time. I mean, there are times when, I want to use Amazon. There are times when I want to go use Gear for music. There are times, so, customers will choose which one of those they want, depending on what it is they want. So it's changed a little bit, but I think we need to do a sizable change in Mosoko. In Africa, it's not a mobile-first world, it's a mobile-only world. A lot of people will only ever experience the internet on a smartphone. They're not going to have a laptop or a tablet. So it shows that there are a lot of solutions which you have to design for a phone, and actually not even a smartphone, because today we've only got about 10 million smartphones on the network of 30 million. So you have to design your solutions for a feature phone as well as a smartphone. But it also shows that because of the ubiquity of a smartphone, the fact of a mobile phone, the fact that you have more mobile phones than you've got toilets, shows that you can actually deliver quite a lot of solutions, whether it's healthcare solutions, or agricultural solutions, education solutions, using the smartphone rather than the conventional methods. We're working on lots of stuff, and some of them fail and some succeed. So, there's some which stumble. If you take one tap, that one stumbled. But we learned from it. We learned that what we needed was different solutions for different customers. So, you've got QR codes, you've got stickers, you've got all sorts of other solutions as well. Mosoko, we're still learning. We've taken a long time learning on this one for sure. And we need to really take our shoes off and run a lot faster in that space, because I think it's a huge opportunity. And we continue to work in the fintech sector, because as you can see, if it's growing, if M-Pesa is growing at 19%, it suggests that that's an area that we need to focus on to really leverage it for our customers and for our shareholders. We've grown shareholder value reasonably well. We're pleased with that. I mean, the shareholders, people who invested £5 back at the launch, have got that £5 back. More than that in dividend. Actually, we haven't counted how much it is, but they've got more than that back in dividend. And of course, their original £5 is now worth 28 to 29 shillings. So we think we do deliver to shareholder value, although that's not our starting point. Our starting point is purpose. How do we try to transform the lives of Kenyans? And then the second thing is, how do we care for our people to ensure they can help us to do that transformation? And then out of that comes the financial performance that we announced today. The first thing is purpose. You have to have purpose. Even as an individual, have a purpose and also have a positive purpose. You can have a negative purpose. But if you want to deliver that purpose, you have to make sure that you're taking care of your people. And we put a lot of effort in doing that. If you look at our staff engagement, it's currently sitting at about 95% or something like that, which is very, very high. We care about diversity and inclusion in the company. So irrespective of your racial background, your gender background, whether you're someone with a disability, you want to have an equal opportunity for development. Women in our company, I think, have a better deal than in other companies. Now, do they have as good a deal as men? I mean, I think there's some cultural and intellectual things we need to get through before they will. So if you've got the right people and you've got an intersection of their purpose and your purpose, then you start to serve your community very well. Not just your customers, by the way. A lot of the stuff we're doing, if you take Ndoto Zetu, for example, we don't say, are you a customer? If you're not a customer, you can't have a wheelchair. I mean, that's just daft. So we aim to serve society. and then customers make a choice on whether we're providing them with the right services or not. But if you have a failing society, you can't have a thriving business. And so we've tried to do everything, whether it's dealing with corruption, whether it's dealing with climate change. We're the first ones to go to get rid of our single-use plastic bags. This was the time when industry was lobbying and going to court to stop the gazettement of it. And we all know that that's a silly thing. You can't continue to use plastics the way you're using. We will announce in the next couple of months or so our intentions to plant a forest, to plant a large forest, because we need to reforest the country. So, it's the purpose, the people get behind that, and then the profit will flow. I mean, you still need to manage the company prudently, of course, which I think we do. We're 51% women across the whole company, but if you go up the ranks, you find that it gets narrower and narrower as you get to the top. And our intention is to get to 50% men, 50% women at the senior manager level, and we want to do that by 2020. Maybe the end of next year rather than the beginning of next year. And so you have to be very, very deliberate about how you select women for the organization. You have to ensure that every shortlist has 50% women. So when you're interviewing, if people are interviewing and there's less than 50% women, I send them away. I say, no, you need to go look at this again. Yeah. The retention of women is also important. So things like ensuring that, especially mothers who are, that age of giving birth, how do you make sure that they can feel comfortable coming back to work? So we give them four months maternity leave, and when they come back on full pay, but on reduced hours. So they work an average of 6 hours, which is flexible. They can decide how they want to do that as they go through the following 6 months of their baby's growth. We have a clinic here. We have a childcare facility, so you can bring your children in here. We encourage women, so this is what we do for our own women, but we're also working with women in business. So the team, and largely the women leadership team, have decided that we need to increase the percentage of our spend on women businesses. Yes. Now, the big problem is that women businesses tend to provide tablecloths and flowers and all the marketing stuff, and that doesn't really generate that much income. So what we said is we need more women in technology, and so we've been working with them. And I insist, as I chair the tender board, I ask the question every time we're about to award. Who owns this company? Who leads the company? And we're slowly beginning to shift. Now it's only 3% of our spend. Having said that, a lot of our spend is on radio equipment, which will come from China or Europe. But we ask the question every time we award. We train and we develop women. So we say, well, right now you're providing tents or tables. Are you interested in becoming a provider for maintaining our cell sites? Are you interested in becoming a provider for laying fiber in the ground? And a number of them stepped up and said, yeah, we're happy to do that. And so we work to train them, develop them, maybe give them a subcontract work through one of our bigger vendors. But eventually, we want to move them away from being a subcontractor to be a direct contractor. And we're seeing more and more of those companies. And we said we will announce when I'm going. When I'm going. That's what and Duncan seems to think that he knew better. He'll be embarrassed because I'm not going in August. So he made. I accuse him of making the story up, but somebody obviously told him a story, and I'm grateful for you for not spreading it even further. But I am not going in August, and that is unless I die, of course. But that's a fact, and so he's got his own story, which unfortunately got a bit of traction because it was a slow news day.